this one particular case that happened in Grenada County, is that a county or a town? Is it both?
Both.
So, a Grenada County jail in 2018, Robert Loggins, a black man who died while in police custody. And I'm going to say this, y'all, before we get into this, and Dom, you talk more about this case. You're not going to believe this, y'all. You ready? You sitting down? Prisoners and jail inmates, they have rights too.
They do. They're people.
Criminals or whoever you think might be a criminal out on the street, before they get a trial, they have rights too. So if you approach everything like that, then maybe you'll have a better understanding of how these things get processed through the courts. Maybe you'll have a better understanding of how police should treat you. And maybe you'll have a better understanding of how you can get convicted as a police officer for not following procedure, because everybody has rights. So this case, it kind of reminds people of George Floyd, because the way the case was, the way he was murdered, and the case has drawn international attention and sparked multiple protests against police brutality of black residents at the hands of law enforcement, just like majority of these cases have recently. Representatives from the Mississippi Department of Public Safety did not immediately respond to the Clarion Ledger, which is what the article that I got, for comment. Of course, they didn't comment. Officers brought Loggins into Grenada County Jail in the early morning of November 29, 2018. A female voice can be heard saying Loggins was bleeding from his mouth and legs at the time of his arrival. Officers then worked to restrain Loggins he began rolling from side to side, appearing to pin him down in the head and in the neck area. After 3.5 minutes, officers pulled away from Loggins, who appears unresponsive. He was then carried toward the jail cell, but brought back into the lobby moments later. An officer checked Loggins' vital signs. 6 minutes later, paramedics were called to the scene. Loggins was pronounced dead at a local hospital. A subsequent investigation labeled his death as an accident, and it was linked to methamphetamines found in his system during the autopsy. Ain't that some shit?
It's crazy. And it's even crazier, like, once again, being from a place like where I'm from, Grenada, Mississippi. It's just a place of it's a place of great divide at moments, and
divide racially.
Yeah, definitely. I think that it's one of those places to where, like, sometimes, like, it's just almost understood. So it's really sad to see, this case happening, and once again, it's 2021 now. This case happened in 2018, and that's the reason you're just now, starting to hear about it, and that's why I want to talk about it and bring it to light, because they killed this young man pretty much just like they did George Floyd.
In the jail. In
jail, handcuffed, They definitely beat him up before, he even got to the jail, and that's why, for anybody that, just go to Google, type in Robert Loggins, Grenada, Mississippi, and you'll see the video when they bring him to the jail. Like, the intake person at the jail wouldn't even take him, because they're like, you can't bring anybody to jail like this,
So when we were talking about this before, you were saying, that Mississippi has a reputation, and its prison system has a really, really bad reputation.
Yeah.
And we were talking about before, Parchment Prison, which
Mississippi,
it had a lot of attention brought to their.
Yeah, so
not too long ago.
For you all that don't know, Parchment, Mississippi, it's literally almost a whole town, but it's basically a prison, and the conditions are horrible. Like, like, no running water, like, infrastructure bad, like, rats and stuff in the cells. Like, it just a young man by the name of Curtis Flowers brought a lot of attention to Parchment, Mississippi. Also, he's not a young man anymore. Thank God he was able to get out of jail, but they basically had him in Parchment, Mississippi for years. And once again, the conditions are very, very bad. Jay-Z, Yo Gotti, a lot of well-known rappers, David Banner, brought a lot of attention to the conditions of Parchment, Mississippi. And not only Parchment, Mississippi, but a lot of the prisons in Mississippi is just a lot of crooked, underhanded, dirty stuff going on behind the scenes that, just needs to be addressed.